I'm Dan Weller from Sikth. I'm going to talk to you about my love for PRS guitars. Back in the day I had a kind of a full endorsement, I guess, with PRS, so I'd do all their adverts and all the cool stuff that guitarists love doing. And it first started when I signed a record deal when we were 21 or 22 or something like that, and our A&R man said, "What guitars do you want to play?" And I went and tried everything out, because at the time I was playing Gordon Smith guitars, and I wanted to try to find my guitar that suited my playing and stuff. So I went down Denmark Street and tried a load of guitars out, and I have to say, not because it was like the best one in the shop, but because the way it played, the way it felt, sustain, just everything about it. I said to the A&R guy, I was like, I have to have PRSs, and I love 22 fret guitars. I've never been a Shredmeister or anything. I love rhythm guitars, so I fell in love with I think it was a custom 22 there. So anyway, long story short, went up to Cambridge, where they were all sort of distributed around Europe. Met Gavin, who's a legend, who basically I got on really well with, and he took a punt on me and said, you know, I'll help you out. So gave me a couple of guitars, and that was it really. And this guitar here, this is a Standard 22. This is my favourite, because I haven't really seen this colour on many PRSs at the time. He said I think it was the only one at the time in the country, so I felt really lucky. I've played both Sikth albums on this, so it's my trusty guitar basically. And this album's been on Cradle of Filth albums. It's been this guitar's been on Cradle of Filth albums. Loads of different bands have used this. Shikari used this for 2 of their albums, just because the intonation and the way it sounds, everything's always just spot on. So I've got a Standard 22. I've got a CE 22, which is the bolt-on, which is the first one I got, which is like a weird green kind of colour. And then I've got a royal blue custom 22, which has got the maple top, which I think does sound the best in the studio. It's got a bit more punch. But I couldn't recommend them highly enough, to be honest. I can't get used to playing other guitars, and if ever in the studio I need a guitar that's a safe bet when it comes to tuning and intonation, I know I can bring a PRS out and it will just sound great. Okay, so you're probably wondering why I have this lovely gaffer tape covering up my neck pickup here. It's not for any sonic reason or any trick of the trade. It's just I sweat loads when I play guitar, and the screws on the neck pickup on all my guitars, not just PRSs, on the earlier guitars I had, I would always find my neck pickup unscrewing itself and collapsing. So since I mainly use this for Sikth and kind of metal stuff, and I don't really need the neck pickup, I just decided to gaffer over it, because I can't be bothered to keep re-screwing it back in, and it's not getting used anyway. So yeah, I apologise to Paul Reed Smith for doing this to his guitar, but at least that pickup's going to be really shiny and new when I eventually uncover it. But these are just Dragon 2 pickups. They're the standard ones that came with the guitar, and I've thought about, you know, getting some monster pickup in the guitar, but I've always found that I just love these. They do everything I need them to do, so I've kept them. So yeah, so there you go. That's why I've got gaffer tape on my guitar.
Right, I'm Pin from Sikth, and I'm here with my Ebony Black Machine B2. I first sort of ended up with these guitars because Doug, who's basically the founder and only employee of Black Machine, turned up at one of our shows with a guitar on his back and literally was like, "Pin, try this out," which was a little unusual. And I was like, well, what's all this about? I'd never heard of the brand before. And so, but you know, it's a guitar, so I'm going to give it a go. And he came along, got him out, I played him, and pretty much haven't looked back since then. So basically, yeah, for spec on this guitar, we've got ebony top, ebony neck, ebony headstock. That I'm using rosewood neck, ebony fillets, Spertzl locking tuners, and this one's just a swamp ash body. It's recently actually gone in for, well, yeah, I think I've had it about 12 years now, so it's finally had refret, so I've changed those out for stainless steel, which I'm loving at the moment. It's just a lot smoother, and there's a little bit more snap and attack really with the actual sort of instrument itself. Using the bare knuckle, more or less nail bombs. Tim kindly wound them a bit differently for me. I had them just sort of underwound a touch just to give myself a little more dynamic on the picking. As you can see, I've got a lovely instrument which I've ruthlessly just torn the tone control out of because I didn't really have much need for it at the time. Using the kind of Graphtec saddles at the moment, so the graphite ones, which I'm finding are, again, adding a little bit more sort of a different character, but I think they merge well with the stainless frets. Stops it being too bright. I've got my other B2 constructed quite differently. I say quite differently. It's rosewood neck again, but I've got a snakewood fingerboard, and it's a mahogany and sapele body. They're tonally quite different, which keeps it interesting, gives me options when I'm sort of choosing between them. Like say, no sort of trems going on. I just like to keep it fairly solid and riff out.